Hello, thanks for watching. It's Alex here from WP Eagle. Now in this video we're going to be setting up an e-commerce website using WordPress and the amazing WooCommerce plugin from WooThemes. We're also going to be using a premium theme called The Retailer, which is really great because it's responsive, it's got widgets and shortcodes, it's easy to configure, you're just going to love it. So I'm going to take you through it step by step. We're going to start by setting up some hosting, then we're going to install WordPress along with the theme and some plugins. We're then going to add a few products and then configure the shop so that it's ready to sell and take money via PayPal. We're obviously also going to style it and make sure that it all looks really nice. Now if you have any questions at any time during the video, just post them in the comments and I'll be sure to try and get back to you as quickly as possible. Another note, if you really like my videos and you think they're useful, it'd be really cool if you could subscribe or at least just click the like button. It really does help. Okay, so the first step is we need to set up our hosting. If you've already got hosting set up and you've got WordPress installed, you can skip this step and just forward the video a little bit until we get started setting up the e-commerce site. If you haven't got hosting, then you need to choose from one of these two links that I'm going to put up on the screen now, depending on where you are in the world. If, like me, you're in the UK, then you need to select this video, pause this video you're watching and click this video, and that will take you through setting up hosting in the UK with a fantastic company called TSO Host, who I highly recommend. If you're in the US or somewhere else in the world, then you need to check out this video where I will take you through setting up hosting and installing WordPress with a company called HostGator. They're based in America and they'll charge you in dollars. Again, they're highly recommended. Okay, so select one of these two great videos. If you're on a phone and you can't click on an annotation, then you need to find the link in the description down below this video. So yeah, go and do that, set up your hosting, and then we'll get started setting up the e-commerce site. Okay, hopefully that all went well for you and you watched one of those videos and you've got your hosting set up and WordPress installed and you're now ready to configure the rest of your e-commerce website. So without any more chit chat from me, let's roll the tape. So the first thing that we need to do is give the blog a name and just go through all the basic settings, and then what we'll do is we'll install the premium theme and all the plugins that we need to turn this basic WordPress website into a fully functioning e-commerce site. I'm going to go back to the dashboard and then I'm going to go down to the settings down here and go to General. And this is where we can give it a name. So I'm just going to call this the WP Eagle Shop Demo. Another WP Eagle Demo. Obviously you start to put your information in, whatever your company or website's called. This is the URL which we've already set. You can change this if you need to at any time. Sometimes you might want to add a www if you haven't already. This is the email address. I'm just going to enter my email address in there, and basically that's the email that's used whenever there's a notification from the website. And obviously just check that your time and everything is all okay. Mine should be on London. Obviously it works better, I find, if you do set the town or city that's nearest to you, so London, and save changes. So that's done. The next thing I want to do is just set the permalinks. Now this is basically the structure of the website, so the way that the addresses of the web pages are displayed. So I just want to double check that it's /category /postname, which it is. If yours isn't, just make sure that's ticked and then click Save Changes. Okay, and now we're going to go on and install the premium theme. So I'm going to go over to Theme Forest. I'll put a link up on the screen now for you. And the theme we want is the Retailer. So you can either follow my link, which I'd be most grateful, as I will receive a very small amount of commission if you are so kind to click on that and purchase. Just a way of showing some thanks for my videos. So yeah, I'm going to bring up the Retailer, which is this one here. It's $55. It's a really cool theme, and yeah, that's the one that we're going to be using. So I've already purchased it, so I can just click download. That's going to download in a second or two. Okay, I'm just going to put that in my downloads folder, then I know where it is. So that's going to download. That's done. Now I'm just going to have a look at this. It's a zip folder that you get when you download a zip file, even zip folder, zip file. So I'm just going to open that up or expand it. You'd use in Windows, I'm not quite sure how you do that. I think you just double click on it or whatever, or right click and click unzip. On the Mac you right click and open it with the archive utility, and then you get this folder here called the retailer. And then within here are the theme files that we're actually going to upload. So once we've expanded that zip that we downloaded, we can now go back into WordPress, which I've got still open in this tab here. And then I'm going to go to themes. And then add new. Then up top here there's this big button that says upload theme. So then I'm going to click browse and go into the folder that I just expanded and into the theme files. Now there's two in here and I'm going to upload both of them. So let's start with the retailer. I'll explain why we do that. The retailer is the main kind of theme with all the bits and bobs in there, and then the child theme is the one that we're actually going to run with. And then in the future, if you need to ever make any changes to the actual code of the theme, you can use that rather than changing the main package. And that basically means that whenever you do get an update of the theme, it doesn't overwrite any of your changes. Now if you didn't understand any of that, then don't worry about it. But as I say, it's just good practice to use a child theme whenever there is one included. So that's done. I'm going to go back to themes now and upload that child theme. Add new again, upload, pick that child and click install. Okay, and then I'm going to click activate on that one. Okay, so once you're done, you get some messages that it needs some plugins and some other bits and bobs. So let's go to this link here that says begin installing plugins, and I'm going to just tick all of them and go under the bulk actions toggle, click install, and then click apply, and that's going to hopefully go away and find all the plugins that we need and install them all for us. This is going to take a minute or two, and they're all installed. Great. So let's go back to the required plugins installer by following this link, and now all we need to do is activate them. So again, I'm just going to tick all of them, and I'm going to go to the toggle and select activate. And they're all done. So now if we go back to our the front of our website, which I've got up here, so I'm just going to close this tab. Actually, we don't need that one anymore, and go to visit site, and let's go to theme forest. We don't need that anymore. Okay, it's starting to look a little bit different. There's still quite a few settings that we need to do, but you can see that it's starting to change. So let's go back to the dashboard, and there's a few more other setup things we need to do. So the first thing is we need to install the WooCommerce pages. So this is basically, it's going to automatically create things like the checkout, the cart, all those kind of things. So just click the button. Okay, so the next step is we're going to start putting our product categories together and adding some products and setting attributes, all those kind of things. So the site that I'm going to do in terms of the type of products that I'm going to add on this demo site, I'm going to work with some t-shirts. And these t-shirts are going to come in a few different colors and in obviously a range of different sizes. Now, depending on obviously what you're selling is going to depend on what attributes you need, whether you need them at all. You know, if you're just selling very standard products that don't have variations, you're probably not going to need them. But if you're selling anything like clothing or anything that comes in different sizes or colors, then this bit is going to be quite useful for you. So all the shop kind of stuff and product stuff is logically under products. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of these attributes, and the two main ones that I'm going to be using today are size and color. So I'm just going to call this size and click add attribute, and it's added it. And then we need to add some terms. So I'm just going to click on this little cog, and I'm going to add a new size, which will be small. Oh, add new size, medium, and large. Okay, then let's go back to attributes again, and I'm going to add the color. I'm going to spell it the UK way. And then I'm going to add a couple of colours, black and blue. Let's go for red as well, eh? Okay, so once they're done, we can then use them when we're adding some products. The next thing I'm going to do is add some categories. Now, everyone's probably going to need these, so categories are useful when you want to create your menu, and just basically a way of logically organising all your products. So let's go to categories. I've got two types of t-shirts that I'm selling at the moment. I've got film t-shirts. I'm just going to add film. You can add some descriptions and stuff if you want. We might come back to that later because they can be displayed on the site. And the next one is TV. Okay, they're done. Okay, so what we're going to do next is add some products. I always like to start by adding a few products. That way when we're trying out different layouts and things, we can see what we've got. It's quite difficult to do that when you haven't got any content on the site. It's also a good opportunity for me to take you through how to add a product, because you're going to be doing quite a lot of that, obviously adding all your inventory and stock. So as I've already mentioned, I'm going to be just using some t-shirts for this particular demo site. And the thing with t-shirts is they come in different sizes and different colours, so I'm going to need to set up some product variations, so I'm going to take you through doing that as well. If you're just selling very simple things that don't have any variations, then you're just going to go for the simple product, which is just quite straightforward, and you just enter the price and stock, and that's about it. But if you are selling things that have different configurations, different sizes, colours, shapes, whatever, then you are going to need to do the variations. And these variations are going to be done on the attributes that we set up earlier, size and colour. So let's get started. So I'm going to go to new product. And I've got all my notes in this little text file here. Obviously you'll have all your product information to hand, hopefully, and images and all that kind of stuff. So the first one I've got is a Doctor Who t-shirt, so I'm just going to call this Doctor Who t-shirt. And then this first box is where you put the bulk of the description, so the main kind of all the details, and this is going to appear towards the bottom of the product page. So I'm just going to copy and paste all this stuff here. There we go. And then the next bit is where we enter all the product data. So as I say, because it's t-shirt and we need variations, it's going to be a variable product. Here you can enter the number, so just any old SKU, or obviously your real SKU if you've got it. Inventory is where you can set up stock, so I'm going to tick that to enable stock, and I'm just going to say I've got 10 of these, and you can allow back orders, that kind of thing. Shipping's not been set up yet on the site, so there's no classes or anything, but obviously if you've got a weight and dimensions, you can enter that information here. Linked products are for doing upsells and cross sells, so once you've added a few products you can then come back and link them all together. So say you've got an accessory or something like that on your product and you want to promote that alongside the product, you can use the upsells and cross sells. I think if I've got it the right way around, upsells will appear on the page of the product, and the cross sells I think appear in the cart when you're checking out, but I might have got those the wrong way around. So attributes is where we're going to add our attributes. So I'm going to come over here to custom product attribute. I'm going to add the size to start with, click add. So you can just start typing and it will just drop down, or you can just put select all if it's going to have all the values, which this one is. It comes in large, medium and small. If you tick this box, it makes the options appear under additional information on the product so people can see what's available. I'm going to tick this box as it's used for variations, as I want people to be able to select this as an option when they add it to their basket, obviously, so that we know which size t-shirt to send out when we get an order. So that's there. I'm going to add another one. Oh no, not a new attribute. I'm going to add another custom product attribute. I'm going to add the colour. And again, I'm going to select all. It comes in black, blue and red. I'm going to tick that box and tick that box. And then I'm going to click Save Attributes. So they're done. And then the next section is the variations, which is where we're going to basically set up all the options that you can pick. So if you just do the attributes, they'll just appear on the page, and if without people being able to select them. And then if you go to variations, this is where you set up the bit where selecting, and you can add things like, say someone picks a small and that's cheaper, you can have a price difference or different shipping rate, all that kind of stuff. So if you're going to use all the variations, so for example, you know, a black small, a black medium, a black large, and then obviously a blue small, you're going to need to link all the variations. So I'm just going to click this button. It's going to go away and link them all together. So there's 9 in total, obviously because there's 3 sizes and there's 3 colours. And here we can start adding different things for the different variations. So the first one I've got here is large black, and then the next one is medium black. And so for example, if they had a different SKU for your picking and packing, you can enter those things here. And if you've got obviously different stock quantities of these different sizes, you would enter them all here. 23 for that one somehow. Here you enter your prices and sales prices again if they're different. Now if they're all the same, which in this case they are going to be, you can go up here and go for the bulk edit, and here you can, you know, select all the different options and do them all in one go. So I'm going to go for the price and click go, and the price is $14.99. You see it's put it all on all the variations in the regular price. We could do sale price as well, so again prices and sale prices, click go, and the sale price is $12.99. That's populated that. So that's all the variations done. Just check they're all there. Yep, they're all done. So the next option is the advanced. Just have a look in here. You can add a note for when people are purchasing. So when they've placed the order, you can have an optional note. So say for example, you know, we are preparing your order, or this is a custom. It's generally something that's specific to the product. So if it's got some special note that you need to say, then that's where you'd add it. And that's it. So if we scroll down a bit further to the bottom of the page, the last box that we need to complete is this product short description. And now this is just a small bit of text that appears up the top of the product page near the price. So I'm going to go back to my description. I'm just going to put these bullet points and that in like that. Okay, let's just check these options down the right hand side. So we need to add a category. Doctor Who is TV. You can add some tags if you want. So it could be BBC, it could be Doctor Who, it could be sci-fi. It's entirely up to you. You don't have to use tags if you don't want to. Again, it's just a way that you can put things in nice categories and people can find stuff easily. And allegedly it may help a little for SEO, but that's not proven. Okay, the next thing, the last 2 things are the images. So if you've got a whole load of images, you would add them to the product gallery, and the product image is the main image that's going to be used. And I've only got 1 image, so I'm just going to set that. I'm going to upload from my computer, Doctor Who. Click set product image. And there we go. And then if I click publish, we've got our first product. So that's done, and then if we click here, we can go and have a look. There it is. So there's my Doctor Who t-shirt. As you can see here, the options. So we can have large, black, and then we can add to cart. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is add some more products. I'm not going to bore you with that, so I will fast forward time. And I'll see you in a sec, and we'll get on setting up the rest of the site. Okay, so I've added some products. As you can see, we've got 6 products now added to the shop. I've added a few different variations and prices. One's out of stock. But yeah, we've got some things to play with now. So I'm now looking at a page that's created by WooCommerce when you install it, which is just /shop. Which is we'll come back to shortly and have a play around with, and I can show you some of the different layouts that you can have. But for now, what we'll do is we'll start getting the rest of the site in order. So for example, I need to add a logo, and we need to set up the navigation and just kind of create the structure of the site, and then it should all start to hopefully come together. So to start with, we'll do the logo and go from there. So I'm going to go back into the dashboard. Hopefully by now you've added some products too. And then I'm going to go into appearance and theme options. Okay, so here's some options. So we can, you can change these as you want. I'm going to leave them pretty much as default for now, but you can come in here and have a play whenever you like. So to upload your logo, you go to styling, and then the first option is upload your logo. The second one is to upload your retina logo. Basically, if you've got a logo that's twice the resolution, you can upload it there. I'm just going to upload the one here. Just the WP Eagle logo for now. That's done. I then click Save. Then if we go back to the website, let's have a look at that. There we go, the logo's done. Okay, so let's go back to those styling options just for a second. So back to the dashboard and then appearance and theme options. And we'll set the theme color. So this is basically for like the buttons and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to add a color that I've got, which is the orange of the eagle's feet. F19. There we go. I'm going to leave the primary font color as black and leave all the rest for now because we're using a wide layout. We don't need to mess with the background options. That's done. Let's just go back and have a look at that now. So now we've got this orange on buttons and things. So we need to start putting things together. We need to start setting up the home page and these widgetized areas and the navigation. So to do that, let's go back into the back end and let's just start creating some pages that we're going to need. So I'm going to go to pages, all pages. So we've got some basic pages, just the default ones that come when you install WordPress and when you install WooCommerce. So we've got an about page, the shop page, and then the my account, checkout, and cart. So we're going to need a few more. I'm just going to create them as blank pages for now, and then we'll go back and edit them. So the first one is going to be the home page. I'm just going to call it home and click publish. Obviously you create whatever pages you're going to need. I'm just going to do the basics. Contact us. We've already got an about. I'm going to have a shipping page, all the shipping information. I'm just adding pages by using the add new button at the top. I'm going to have a returns page. And I think that'll do for now. Okay, so next thing I want to set up is the navigation. So to do that, I'm going to go to Appearance and then Menus. Now, the theme has a couple of different areas to put menus. Obviously, the first one is the main menu, so I'm just going to call it Main Menu and click Create. And this is where you set where the menus go. So this is the primary menu. I'm just going to tick primary. Then I'm going to add some pages to it. So I'm going to add the home page. I'm going to add the shop. I'm going to add the about and the contact us. And then you can just drag and drop to rearrange them. Let's have the contact us at the end. So let's save that menu. And then if we go back to the front of the website, we can see where that's appeared. So now we have our menu here. You can obviously click through, go to the shop, and about. Obviously, there's the default blurb. There's nothing on the contact us for now. So I'm going to go back and set up some more because we can have another menu here, and there's also a sub menu that we can have along the bottom. So I've gone back to the dashboard and then into the menus. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to add a couple of the other pages to that menu because there's plenty of room. So we've got the returns and the shipping. I'm going to add those just there and save that menu. And then I'm going to create a new menu for the top. So create new menu and I'm going to call it top menu. Then click create. And for the top, I'm going to just have the my account and maybe the contact us again. Add to menu and tick this box here, which is the note the top header menu. Just switch those around. There we go. Save. And again, I'm going to take you back to the front so we can see where that is. So that's along the top here. Okay, and then I think for the secondary menu, which is going to sit below here, I'm just going to add a few of the categories. At the moment, I've only got film and TV, so I'll add those for now. So again, back into appearance and menus. and then I'm going to click create a new menu. This one's going to be called submenu, and create menu. And here I need to go down to categories. Oh, no, not categories. These categories are for the blog, but what we need is the product categories, which aren't actually showing here. So to make them show, we need to go up to the top here and click screen options, and then click product categories. And they're there. I'm going to add film, TV. Then I'm going to click secondary menu and save. Let's have a look if that's worked. And there we go, there's our film and TV. Obviously we need to add a few more, I think, so it looks a bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple more categories and be back with you in a sec. Okay, so I've added some more categories and I've added the word tease to fill it out a bit more so it's looking a bit better. So that's the navigation all done. So the next thing we should do, I think, is have a look at this homepage, because at the moment it's just showing the latest blog posts, kind of default WordPress thing. So we need to add a slider, and we need to you know, maybe add some products and whatever else we want to the homepage to make it look good. So the first thing I'm going to do for the homepage is to set a page as the homepage rather than just showing these posts. So to do that, we go to the dashboard, and then down the bottom in settings and reading, we select a static page and then select that home page that we created earlier. That's done. So then if we go back to the site, the home page is now just a blank page. So we can start adding some things to it. So the first thing I want to add is the slider, which is powered by the Revolution Slider plugin. So we're going to go back into the backend. I've got a couple of images that I've purchased from PhotoJune, which I'm going to use. I'll put a link up on the screen now if you want to go check it out. It's great for stock photos and all that kind of stuff. And you know, these where these images are from. So let's get them on. So we're going on to Revolution Slider. I'm going to click create new slider. You can have as many sliders as you want and insert them on as many pages as you want. So for example, you could have a slider at the top of your shop page if you wanted, but I'll just do one for the home page for now. So I'm going to call it home page. The alias home page again. It's going to be a gallery, so basically it just uses images that I upload. I'm going to leave it as auto responsive, and then click force full width. That's okay for those settings. Then over this side, I think the only one I want to change is appearance. I just want to get rid of this shadow, so no shadow. And then I'm going to click create slider and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so that's been created. So now we need to add a slide or two. Oh, that was that was create new slider. I'm just going to click back. And I'm going to click edit slides. And then new slide. Okay, and here's one image I just uploaded a second ago. As I say, I got it from PhotoJune. It's for the movie t-shirts. And there it is. So I'm going to click edit slide to add some text. Okay, so here you can give it a name. I'm going to call it movie tees. You can set a date if you want. Here where we set the transitions, I will keep it random for now, that's fine, we can see what transitions we get. You can enable a link, so I'm going to click enable. It's going to be regular, and I'm going to link through to the movie tees, which I need to go and get the URL. So to get the URL, I'm going to open the site in another tab and just copy and paste it from there. So it's film tees or movie tees, copy link address. Let's call it film tees, shall we keep it consistent? And then I'm going to paste that link in there. The rest don't need to worry about for now. And here's our slide. So this area in the middle is where we can overlay some text and some messages, and they will always display because no matter what size the screen, they will always be fine. So let's click add layer. And here you can enter some text. I'm going to call it film t-shirts. Then you can select a style. Ooh, let's spell film correctly. Got large black one there. Large white. There's a whole host of different ones. So what's that? Modern big blue. It's not too bad. I think we need it a bit bigger than that. Let's see. Very big black. There we go. And then let's just add one more layer. View the range. I made that a bit smaller. As you can see, you can just drag and drop these elements wherever you want. It's a really good slider, really easy to use. So let's just go for that and click Update Slide. I'm going to add one more for the TV t-shirts. So let's call this one TV. Choose the image. So you are going to need to create the images. I recommend that when you get a photo from PhotoJune or somewhere like that, that you crop it so that it's not too high. I've cropped these so they're 500 high and probably as wide as you can, because some people have some very wide screens. But obviously trying to ensure that the bulk of the image is within this grid area, which is 960 wide at the moment, but you can adjust that if you want. So let's add a layer for this one. Let's find another layout, so that looks quite nice. TV t-shirts from all your favorites. Let's go with that. Okay, so we've got two slides, so now we just need to add our slider to the home page. So I've got the website open here. I can now click Edit to edit the home page. And once you're on the edit page screen, if you click on the backend editor, that fires up the Visual Composer, which makes it quite easy to start adding things to the pages rather than having to type in any code or anything like that. So I'm going to click Add Element, and then Revolution Slider. And the only one we can pick is obviously the home page, because that's one we just created, and I click Save. That should be done. So then just click Update over here. There is one other thing we need to set just before we check the page, and that is the template. And because it's a home page, we need 100% width. So just set it to 100% width, and then click Update. Then if we have a look, oh, I clicked that too quickly. Have a look at the home page. Hopefully the slider will be there in all its glory. There it is. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a banner below the slider, and then I'm going to add a latest products below that. So let's go back in and click Edit Page. So the first thing is the banner, so I'm going to click Add Element, and then I'm going to look for banner. The title is going to be Free Shipping on all orders over £75. And then for the subtitle, let's have next working day Royal Mail Service. Okay, then we can add some colors. I'm going to select so I'm going to use a color that I've just got over here, which is one of my WP Eagle colors again. So let's have the background as a brown, which is color code. Obviously you use whatever brand colors you have to hand. or you can use that color switcher there. Okay, what's the bullet? Order today. And let's change the bullet to the orange again, E7F19. Okay, let's save that. And oh yeah, one other thing we need to just check is the width. I've just clicked on that little pencil over there. For the row options, I'm going to set that to boxed, otherwise it will be right across the screen like the slider. And then I'm going to click update. Let's have a look at that. Oh, there we go. It's quite a high box, so I think what we're going to need to do is add a little bit of margin at the top because it's touching on the slider, and reduce the height of it. So let's go back in again. And to adjust the height, what I'm going to do is just go back into banner and go to excuse me, go to this pencil, and obviously scroll down to height, and I'm going to adjust this down to 90. Leave everything else as it is. Okay, and then while we're here, we might as well add the next section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add another row, and it adds this other grey area. Then I'm going to click this plus to add the element. What I want to show here are the recent products. So I've gone to products, and then there's loads of different product type things you can add. So I'm going to add recent products, and it goes into the options. And I think the only one thing I need to change is, no, that's all fine. Let's save that. And then I'm going to go over here to the row, and I'm just going to make sure that, again, it's not set to full width, it's set to boxed, so that it looks better on the page. And we'll have a look what that looks like. So, update. Then view page. Here we go. Ah, that looks very nice. So the height of the slider is much better at 90. And then here's our recent products, which is a nice little slidey thing here. So the homepage is really coming together now, and I think that'll be okay for now. What we'll go on to work on now are things like the this footer area. We'll do that next, and then we'll just finish off these pages, and then we're nearly ready to check all the shop settings and everything like that. So, hope you're keeping up okay. It's obviously quite a long slog, but you know, we are making good progress. So let's move on to the widgets in the footer. Okay, so to set some widgets, we obviously need to go back into the dashboard. So I'm going to do that now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the top footer, which is called the light footer, as a 3 column, and then the dark footer, which is the very bottom footer, as a 4 column. So in order to do that, I'm going to go into the theme options to start with. And then footer. And here's the light footer, and there's the options. I'm going to set it to a 3 column. I'm going to leave the colours the same for now. Dark footer is fine. I'm going to leave that as 4 column. And again, I'm going to leave the colours alone. But obviously, as you can see, it's very easy to change the colours. Change things like that, change your credit card logos, or put some other logo there, and here's some copyright text. I'm going to change that to my name, and save those changes. So now we just simply drop some widgets into those areas. So to access your widgets, it's again under appearance, and then widgets. And then over here, we've got the light footer and the dark footer. So with WordPress widgets, if you're not familiar with it, you just simply grab the element that you want from over here and drag it to where you want it over here. So for the light footer, which is the top footer, I'm just going to show off some products. So what we need first is the top rated products. So I'm just going to drag that up to light footer. I'm going to put it down to 3. Click save. And the next one I want is the products. So just the WooCommerce products. I'm going to drag that one up there. I'm going to call it, instead it's to free, sorry, I'm going to call it on sale products, or just on sale. Click save. And then for the third one, let's see what we've got left. I know there's another one that I want to use. I've done the top rated. Oh, featured products, of course. We've got top rated, so now we need featured products. So that's in WooCommerce products again. And then I'm just going to set that to 3 products again. You can obviously have it whatever you want. It just makes it longer on the page. Just change that to featured products, and I'm going to put show featured products. So featured products, you can just basically tick which products you want to be featured. So we're going to go and do that now, just to make sure that we've got some. So they're all saved. That should be done. So to set a couple of featured products, go back to your products. And from here it's very simple. You can just click the little star. So it's just being a bit slow. There we go. It's done that one. We'll have Twin Peaks, and we've got to have the DeLorean, haven't we? All the Back to the Future fans out there, including myself. One of the best films ever, I think. Okay, let's go back and see what that looks like. So the footer appears on every page, not just the home page. So there it is on the home page. We need another on sale t-shirt, don't we? To even that up. So I'll do that in a second. But also on any of these pages, you'll see the footer. There we go. Let's find a t-shirt and put it on sale, which isn't included on that already. Could be tricky. Let's go for the Breaking Bad. Oh, that's already on sale. The Godzilla. I just like things, you know, all even. So there has to be 3 products in each column, otherwise it just doesn't look right to me. So I'm going to go back into the variations just to keep you familiar with this. I'm going to go to choose a field to bulk edit so I affect all of the different variations. I'm going to click sale price. I'm going to add a value of $7.99. Click OK. Update that. So that's now on sale. So then if we go back to the home page, there we go. So let's go and do this dark footer. What I'm going to put in the dark footer is just some kind of links. So I'm going to start with the company address, and then I'm going to put links to the important pages. And then I'm going to add the recent blog posts, I think, and some social media buttons. I think that will look nice. But obviously with widgets you can really add whatever you fancy. So let's go back into the dashboard. Go to appearance and widgets. And this is the dark footer that we want to add. So the first thing, I'm just going to add some text, which is where you'd probably add your company name, whatever, but I'm just going to call it the WP Eagle Shop demo site. This is a demo site which I created during my video tutorial on how to create a e-commerce website. Then you could have your address. Okay, let's click save and see what that looks like. Okay, so it's all in a big block. So in order to change that, oh, not edit page, let's go back to widgets, appearance and widgets. Sometimes when I'm working with widgets, I just like to open the site in another tab, just so going back and forth all the time. So if I tick this box here, it automatically add paragraphs. That should format it nicely. So I'm going to open it in a new tab just to stop going backwards and forwards too much. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, there we go. We do need a bit of a space, I think, between the address and the little bit of text. So to do that, you sometimes have to add a break tag, which is that. Sometimes you have to add 2. Let's start with 1. So that's just these sharp brackets or the triangle brackets /BR, just to add an extra bit of space. There we go. Okay, so that's one column done. Let's do the next one. Now the next one, I'm going to create a little menu and add that. So let's go and create a menu first. So back into menus and create a new menu. Let's call it footer menu. I've called it footer menu, haven't I? My spelling is great. Okay, I'm not going to add it to any location because we're going to use it in a widget. And then we can start adding some pages. So I'm going to add the returns, the shipping, the contact us, the my account, all the useful kind of pages, maybe the about us. Add all those. Anything else that might have missed? That should be enough for now. Save that menu. Then we're going to go back into widgets. And what we need is the custom menu widget. I'm going to drop that there. So obviously the order that these are in, and obviously you can just drag and drop them where you want them is the order. So the one at the top is in the first column, the next one is the second column, and so on. Let's call this information. And I'm going to select my footer menu, Save that. Let's go back and refresh and have a look. There we go, and obviously you could add as many links as you want there. Okay, so the next one, let's add the recent blog posts, of which there isn't any yet. They're probably the Hello World, which is the default one. So we'll just see what we've got. So that's just another widget over here, which is called the Retailer Recent Posts. I'm going to call it from the blog. I'm going to set it to 3, but again, you could adjust it depending on how high your footer is. Let's have a look. I haven't got 3 posts, I don't think, so there's only going to be 1. There we go. We could add just another quick poster so you can see that it will appear. This is another blog post. Woo! Again, if you're not familiar with WordPress, you just start adding posts. They're very easy to format. Just type your blurb in there. You can add a picture down here. You can use different categories. So let's put this one in the t-shirts category. Quite similar to the products. And then publish. This theme supports lots of different posts. So you can add a video, audio, a gallery of photos, whenever you like, really. It's really flexible. So if we go view post, we can see that post. There we go. Obviously not very exciting because there's not much on it, but if I had a picture, that would be at the top, and so forth. People can leave a comment, the usual WordPress things. But if we scroll down, you can see that it's now appeared in the footer here with the date and everything like that. So it's starting to come together really nicely. The footer, the last bit, I think we'll just add our social media links. So back in widgets, I'm just going to close that. And we've got 2, I think, retailer social media things. You've got this one and that one. I'm not quite sure what the difference is. Let's try this one. Okay, that says get connected. Let's see what that looks like. And that's going to add obviously icons and links through to things like Facebook and Twitter and all those things. Things have got stuck. Let me refresh again. My broadband's a bit slow this morning. And there we go. So you set those options, and the colour is not matching my other colour. Let me have a look at what the other. Let's have a look at what the other one is, shall we? So that was the social media profiles. This one is the Retailer Connect, and this one you can add your URLs here. So facebook.com/WP-Eagle and so forth. I haven't got time to do all of them, but I'm going to type something in so that the buttons appear. Oh no, I don't know what this one is. It's google.com/something. They're not the right ones, by the way, these ones, so don't follow them. YouTube, I do know that one. Okay, let's just see what the difference is. So then you can decide which one you want to use. Not quite sure why the theme includes 2, to be fair. Okay, I prefer those ones because they match my colours and things. So let's remove that other one. So to remove a widget, you just click delete. And did you notice that because we've now got 5, it's created another set of columns? So you can really add as many widgets as you want, but I think 4 is probably plenty. So I've deleted that, and then if we go back and refresh, the last thing we need to change is that title. It's not the Retailer Connect, it's Connect with Us or something, whatever you like. There we go. Right, we're starting to get what looks like could be a proper website now, aren't we? So we just got our final touches now. To be fair, I'm going to go back through the shop page, just check how we like that, maybe play around with a couple of layouts, and then we're going to go through the WooCommerce settings to make sure that we configure things like the payment gateways and any shipping and that kind of stuff. So maybe go and grab yourself another drink, another cup of coffee or something, and let's do the final section. Okay, so what we're going to do now is have a quick look at the static pages. So the two that I'm going to look at with you are the About and the Contact Us. And I think once you've done those, then you'll be able to go on and have a play with the visual editor and, you know, create some really cool pages for other things on your shop. So let's go with the About first. So I'm just going to click on About. Obviously, when you're logged in to WordPress, you can edit anything just using this bar across the top. So I'm going to click Edit Page. This is just the one that comes with WordPress. I've got that message because I was messing around with it offline a few minutes ago, so you probably won't have that, so ignore that. Okay, it comes with a bit of blurb. I'm going to just take that out and start with a blank canvas. I'm going to delete that, and then I'm going to click Backend Editor to get into the Visual Composer. So you can add all sorts of things in a similar way to the way that we built up the home page. So I can add an element, you know, for example, we could start with something nice like a title. So here we can put a title, meet the team, something like that. Oh no, we love t-shirts. And obviously you can set different colors, so we could have a nice blue and a green. That's probably going to be hideous. Add a separator and a center align it. Okay, let's have a look what that looks like. I'm going to open it in a new tab again so that we can easily go back and forth. We are love t-shirts. My English is one of the best things I think that I do. Let's edit that. That looks a bit rubbish. The colours are hideous, aren't they? Let's just go back to something a bit less garish, like that. And make sure that we get the English a little bit better. We love t-shirts, perfect. Passionate about cool stuff, excellent. I'm going to change the template again to 100% width because that will get rid of that top title. So let's see what that looks like. That's just loading. Let's refresh again. Okay, so we need to add a few more different elements. Another cool one is the team members. Excuse that very noisy car that just went past. So I'm looking for it now. It's called Team Members over here. And here you can add images and blurbs about people on your team. So let's upload an image. I'm just going to find one on my computer. Hopefully I've got one somewhere. Here's some I prepared earlier. So you can just add a bit of blurb, you can add their role and their name. So there's one. What I want to do with these, I want to actually add them into different columns. So I'm going to add a new row, and I'm going to click custom layout here, and I'm going to pick 3 columns. I'm just going to move that into the first column. Then I'm going to add another one, another team member. Again, add an image. Click set image down here. General dogs body. Okay, and then I'm going to add a third one. Just keep it all nice and even. Final image. Cook. I make great food for all the team. Okay, let's have a look what that looks like. So I'm going to update the page. Go back over here and refresh the page. Okay, it's not looking too bad, but again, it's gone wide because I forgot to set it to not to be wide. So I'm going to go back in here and click this little pencil for the settings of the row, and I'm going to set that to boxed. Click save and then update, and let's go back and see what that looks like. Okay, not bad, not bad. Apart from that green, which is pretty horrendous. Okay, so that's the About Us done. Let's go on and have a look at our contact page. So I'm just going to go back to the site on this particular tab. I'm going to go across to the Contact Us. And here I'm just simply going to add a form so that people can get in touch. But again, it's any page, you can add whatever you like. So let's click Edit. Now this theme comes with Contact Form 7, which is a good free plugin for forms. So let's just add that. So I'm going to click Add Element, and I'm going to click Contact Form 7. It comes with one set up by default, but we'll go and change that in a second. And click Save. I'm going to just make this a box layout again. I'm going to change this to 100% width. Click Update. So there's our form. In fact, on this page, I'm not going to set it to 100% width because I want the Contact Us title. So let's just go back. I'm just going to leave this as the default template, and I'll show you what that looks like, which is perfectly fine to use as well. It just it's not suitable for the home page. There we go. So it's got a Contact Us form. I mean, there are other elements that you might want to add. So, for example, we could add a little map at the bottom. So again, add. Actually, I'll add it in its own row, so add row. And then you've got a Google map. That's fine. You can add a color. Let's just leave it at the default and see what happens. You'd obviously need to add your latitude and longitude, which you can find using a tool. Just do a search on Google for latitude and longitude for Google Maps. Oops, that's the wrong page. Let's have a look at the Contact Us. Okay, there's our form. There's our map, and you can click Get Directions as well. Okay, so the final things we're going to do is I'm just going to check this contact form, and then we're going to go through the WooCommerce settings. So let's go back to the dashboard. And then let's go to Contact and Contact Forms. So this is the form that we're using on the Contact Us form. If you click Edit, you can see all the settings. So it's got a name, an email, a subject, and a message, and you can add more by using this Generate Tag feature over here. Here you can set where the email goes and all those, so it's all fine for me. I'm happy with all that. So generally a default will be okay, but if you need to add any other fields or change the email address, it's in there. So the final thing, let's go through the WooCommerce settings just to make sure that that's all correct for you. So you basically just need to go through all of these options. So where are you selling to, whether you sell to all countries or specific countries, obviously set your currency, You should leave the styles alone. Generally they're set by the theme. The next one is the products page. Again, generally these are all set okay when you install, but you may need to adjust some of these. Here you set your tax. So if you need to enable tax, you know, VAT, things like that, and you can, you know, calculate it based on the shipping address. So if it's international and you don't need to charge tax, you can do that as well. The checkout is where you're going to set your payment options. So for example, if we're going to use PayPal, we would click PayPal here. So you enable PayPal, you enter your email address for your PayPal here. Generally these two are the same. Just going to put them the same. And that should be enough to get PayPal up and running if you just got a PayPal standard account. The next one is shipping. So you can have free shipping at the moment, or you can have a flat rate. So let's select flat rate and go to settings. So enable shipping method, flat rate, cost per order, $1.99. Okay, let's go back to free shipping, and you can make this so it's just on a certain order amount. So I'm just going to put mine at 50. Can't remember what I said it was going to be, but you know, whatever it fits to. There we go. And then that's all done. So let's go through and just see what happens when we go through the checkout. So I'm going to go back to the front of the website. Now when I add a product to the cart, let's go through to this one. Choose my size, choose my color, add to cart. Okay, I can view the cart. Then proceed to checkout. It's allowed free shipping, but I don't think it should. Let me just see if it shouldn't let that go through, but let's see if it will, and then we'll go back and change the setting a minute. Just fill all this stuff in. Place order. It looks like it's going to accept the order, which is not quite right. I did a direct bank transfer because it's a good way of testing it, and you know, PayPal and everything would be a bit of a pain to try and pay myself to my own PayPal account. So that's good for testing. But let's just go and see why that free shipping wasn't working. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. I love it when things go to plan, especially when you're making videos, eh? But I'll keep this bit in just so that we can find out what's going on. So I'm going to go back to shipping. Okay, so free shipping settings. There we go. I should have set this. So you could be with a coupon, or it can be minimum order amount. So that's why I didn't select that drop down. So now when we go back and try and order something that's not 50, so choose an option, choose my color, then add to cart. Okay, let's check out and see what happens. Okay, so now the shipping is the flat rate because I haven't spent enough on my cart. Okay, so that's all done. So the final thing I just want to quickly show you is the shop page, which at the moment is still the default page. But what you can do is add some filtering options down the side here. So let's go to the dashboard, and the theme options. Then under shop, we select here and you get the shop sidebar. And then if we go to widgets, we can add, it's called product listing here, so that's where we can add the stuff. So for example, you can add things like the price filter, which allows people to filter by price. You can add a search. You can add a layered nav, so people can filter by size. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. So if we go back to the shop page, there we go. We've got nice filters there, so you can say you just want the medium. There we go. Or just a large. You can add multiple filters, so just a large and a medium. There we go. Okay, so that kind of concludes this tutorial. I think you know, we've got a site, it's all done. I hope that you made it this far with me too. I know by looking at the analytics on my previous videos, not everyone makes it this far, so well done if you did make it this far. If you got stuck at any point, then please just drop me a question in the comments. That would be really useful for everyone else that's also making a website using this video. And I'd just love to hear from you anyway. If you want to reach out to me on Twitter or Facebook or any of those things, then you'll find all my stuff on wpeagle.com. If you like these videos, please like them on YouTube and subscribe. It is really helpful to me in terms of getting exposure and getting more people to watch my stuff. So that'd be helpful to me. On that note, I'm going to stop rambling on and wish you good luck, and I'll see you soon.